What is going on, my friends, and welcome back to another video on the channel. Well, in today's video, we're going over Quant Network's token as its price has been absolutely exploding over the last couple weeks, and you guys have been blowing me up about it. So since it has seen such a meteoric rise over the last, couple months here, I do want to talk about whether I believe it's too late to be buying or if it's even a good idea to be buying. So let's not waste any more time at all, and let's get straight into today's video. So looking at QNT, we can see that a lot of good things have happened. Okay, of course, we had been in this macro downtrend from September 2021 all the way until we broke from, this downtrend right here around July of 2022, okay? Now, obviously, it didn't have the best start ever. Of course, we saw some growth here, and I remember when it came out and everyone was all excited about it, especially coming out of that summer bear market of 2021. But, of course, that did then lead to what pretty much all cryptos have seen recently, which was just a pretty catastrophic decline. Now, we can see here, though, that ever since, June of 2022 to now, it's up pretty substantially. This thing is up currently sitting right around 450% from the bottom. And just in the last couple of days, I mean, this thing has been going absolutely meteoric, looking at 50% gains just over the course of maybe 4 or 5 days here. Now, in terms of if it's too late to be buying, let's not waste any time. I do believe that it's not too late to be buying. I do believe that there can be more potential growth. They are making developments. We are seeing wells accumulating. We are seeing their fundamental value growing because they are seeing changes happening on chain. But in terms of from a technical perspective, I definitely believe purchasing at this point is extremely risky. Now, does that mean you shouldn't buy? No, it just means that if you're buying, be careful, be cautious, because we could see some type of correction happen soon, and let me explain why. Now, typically speaking, let's just talk about your basic Elliott's wave theory, okay? I mean, as basic as it possibly gets. What we will usually see from cryptocurrencies is that they will act off waves of 5, okay? We will usually see your first wave to the top side, your second pull to the bottom side. This is usually some type of back test of support. This looked like a back test of this level here, as you can see. Then we will go in and put in wave 3. Wave 3 has a tendency to pull towards your Fibonacci levels. Wave 4 is a bounce off of your Fibonacci levels, and then wave 5 is usually your break to an all-time high, okay? That is usually what I will see from cryptos of this size, okay? So what you can see again is we had wave 1, which is the breakout. Wave 2 is the back testing of this key level of support back here. Wave 3 is now the move into our macro Fibonacci's. If we go swing high to swing low, we are now in our macro Fibonacci's. Wave 4 typically will happen as a bounce off of your macro Fibonacci's as we come to look to retest maybe even these levels of resistance or this level of resistance here, the wave 1 high. And then wave 5 is usually your strong push back towards the top side to try to clear your previous all-time high. Okay, so from what I typically see, this thing will usually pull back around now, okay? Now, does that mean, again, that it has to? No, it could go up to $264 to retest the 786 level prior to doing so, but it does feel as if it is becoming more and more likely that another pullback maybe of this size is on the way relatively soon. Now, not only that, though, we can look at something like our RSI to also gauge that we are running right into this key level in which we have reached this all-time high back here, and we are already reaching that point again on the daily RSI. That is exaggerated bearish divergence. It's not terrible because the time in between this point and this point has been so long that this has been a full and complete reset on the charts. But I'm more concerned about the fact that we are reaching this 8650 level, in which we will typically on all cryptocurrencies see some type of pullback around the 90 level usually. Now, it doesn't again have to be now, but what I would be looking for is some type of signs of bearish divergence, especially on the short term, in which we maybe see this thing pull back a little bit and then still continue to the top side. But this RSI looks to set maybe like a lower high here, higher high on the price. If we do this, I would definitely be betting that this thing is probably getting a pull to the downside soon. Kind of similar to what we saw here, right? We saw the high, the higher high, the high, the lower high, which did lead to this little pullback before eventual continuation, okay? So I definitely, again, will be paying very close attention now that we have reached this very high 86.50 level on the RSI. I think that it's likely to start to see some bearish divergence soon, which is usually a key sign that, again, we're going to get another pullback relatively soon. Now, there are some other examples, such as the Bollinger Bands. You guys can see we are fully extended outside the daily Bollinger Bands, which is a good typical sign, again, that we will see a pullback. Typically speaking, whenever we see these moves outside the Bollinger Bands. They are key identifiers of when we may get some type of pullback to either the 20 simple moving average, which is this orange line, or to the bottom side of the Bollinger Bands like we did here. And as you can see, again, every single time we touch this top side, we would usually see a pullback relatively soon. And even, if it's some type of structural formation like this. The issue, though, is that this 20 SMA is now at 153. We're sitting at 218. So that 20 SMA is, 30% below us here. And so for that reason, while we're so far away from it, I definitely would be being careful and probably wait to at least let this thing establish some support here before looking to continue. So overall, you can see that there are a lot of signs, right, from your Bollinger Bands to your RSIs, to your basic Elliott's wave theory, to the fact that we are running into our macro Fibonacci levels to show that, this thing is very likely in a position to see some type of correction soon. You can just look at it and tell. It doesn't take a genius to see this thing is starting to look very blow-off toppy, right? This is starting to go very vertical, and typically when it goes very vertical, we will see some type of pullback. And so I don't think it has to be a huge one. I don't think it has to happen right now, but I do believe within the next 7 days it'll happen. And I personally would rather be waiting to see, does this pullback happen? Where do we go down to? Do we maybe come back down to revisit trend here, right? Do we start to pull all the way back like this, get a full reset, and then go in for wave number 5 to the top side? Is something like this happening? If we get something of this nature, then yeah, I would definitely be doing a little bit more buying, expecting that wave 5 to come retest that previous all-time high. A lot of, pretty good developments are happening to allow QNT to get in position to see more growth here, right? Of course, we did see what we saw, the launch of Tokenize at the end of June, again, likely galvanized investor interest in the cryptocurrency. Tokenize allows users to create and deploy interoperable QRC20 tokens and digital assets onto mainnet. So, of course, that was a huge step up in terms of their fundamental value. We also saw back here in August that they announced a non-fungible token standard called QRC721 to help users build and deploy secure interoperable NFTs and overcome limitations associated with Ethereum's ERC721. So what you can see is that they've been making developments. This has not been a move that is completely unjustified, but I definitely would be in a position in which I'm waiting to allow this thing to pull back, let it cool down a little bit before I am looking to, enter in and, go into some type of purchase right here. Remember, we're in a bear market, a macro bear market, and people are going to want to take their gains and they're going to want to capitalize on any gains they can. So understand that as this does develop and as this does go forward, the investors who are down 100% on Solana or 90% on Solana, as soon as they get up 100% on this, they may start taking profits, and it could lead to some type of spiral, and you don't want to be the dummy that gets caught buying at the very top. So in my opinion, although it could go up a little bit more before seeing a pullback, I would be personally just waiting, allowing it to cool off, allowing it to reset, looking for some support, and then once we see a nice little cool down, then that would be a much more optimal time to me, to be buying. So with that said, of course, guys, I'm not a financial investor. Do as you please. I'm just a random guy on the internet. But that's my opinion. That's what I'm thinking about QNT right now. And I will continue to cover them if you guys want to. And you just need to let me know down in the comment section below. But with that said, that's going to be about it. Of course, I hope you guys did enjoy today's video. And I will see you all next time. Peace.